apologize for my 40-year-old eyes. I can't see anymore, so I have to look over every now and then. During my previous speeches, I talked about my extreme makeover. I've talked about how some of the changes that I've gone through in my life as I've walked through this life adapting to what I would like to call my change. But to tell you the truth, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned to accept my rough edges, and I've learned to accept them. But again, I've come a long way, baby. But the question is do you know where you're going? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our 4 guests. Again, I welcome you to my journey to greatness. How many of you all know what this gadget is? By a show of hands. This is GPS. Some of us don't know where we're going without a GPS. And I use the analogy of life and having a journey, and I want to focus on the GPS. See, with these GPSs or Google Maps, you can put in your beginning and your end destination. You hit the enter button, hit the go button, and they give you a step by step turn, left turn, right turn directions to your ultimate destination. But sometimes these things will get you lost. Life is a lot like that as well. A lot of us are born to different situations and we're given instructions on life. I was always told, go to school, go to college, get good grades, and the world would be yours. Obviously, that didn't happen the way that I wanted it to do. Life oftentimes throws you for a loop. But the thing about GPSs is, even though they give you turn-by-turn directions, they don't allow you to enjoy the journey. Follow me if you will. Atlanta has changed since 1981. And if anybody knows anything about Atlanta, you got buildings going up, neighborhoods are changing, and sometimes you can go to an area that you've been to all your life. Maybe you was at Southwest DeKalb and you was going to Washington High, or it used to be Murphy High, Krim High, and you maybe chasing a little girl over there, and you know how to get over there when you was in high school. But times have changed, and they built the building. So you say, yeah, man, we're going over here on Boulevard. So you drive, you think you know where you're going, and then something's changed. You're like, what's this? I don't know what I'm going. And if you know anything about those sides of town, those are some places like Woodward Avenue you don't get lost on. But the fun thing about life, is that there's enjoyment in finding your way back. Again, I ask you, I've come a long way, but do you know where you're going? If you spent any time with me, you know that this book right here has become my mantra. I talk about sharpen the saw from the time I get up to the time I get to bed. That's my phrase word, along with agile, mobile, and hostile, is sharpen the saw. This book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I think was out in 95, 96, a few years back. And for whatever reason, I heard a lot of people talking about the book, but I never read it. At that time, and I've shared it with you all, I was still kind of mad at the world. Didn't want to hear nothing nobody say, and especially didn't want to hear something from a person like Stephen Covey. You know, if it wasn't Dr. King or Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad, you won't get me to hear that. But there's a concept in this book called sharpen the saw that has changed my life. And for me to say that, it's an accomplishment. It allowed me to funnel all this energy that I had going this way and that way and put me in put me on the right path. Before I met you all, I was over here sometimes thinking about something, over here sometimes thinking about something, and over here sometimes thinking about something. And if you know anything about life, it will drive you plumb crazy sometimes. So when I met you all 2 years ago and I did my infamous speech, I ain't scared of y'all. Some of you all may have taken that the wrong way. I was really speaking from the book of Bernie Mac. You know, I'm not afraid of y'all. Not going to go no further. But some people took that the wrong way. I really am not afraid. I'm not afraid of nothing in this world, nothing in this life. But at that time, I was coming from a different space. Again, I've come a long way, baby. But do you know where you're going? In Sharpen the Saw, there's a concept called mental. And what it talks about in the mental and the physical and the spiritual and the social, those are 4 areas that you work on every day to improve your life. I've talked about the physical, I've talked about the spiritual, and I've talked about the social. Today I want to talk just a little bit about the mental. And what I often use is, I call life a game. You know, unlike the Hawks, I try to stay top of my game. Hey, we need a big man. Deal with Superman. But the point that I want to say to you is that there are three types of education. We have formal education. How many here have graduated from high school? How many here got their bachelor's? How many here got their master's? How many here got their PhD? That's one type of education. But you also have the informal type of education. Now, this school, there's no entrance exams, there's no student loans to take out. Your only requirement for admission is what my grandmother used to say: just keep living, baby. Just keep living. That school is a school of hard knocks. School of hard knocks. And to be truthful, I've learned more off the yard than I do on the yard. And for those of you that went to HBCUs, you know what I mean by the yard. I know you understand, Ms. Richburg. Heard about you. But the other type of education that I also want to talk about is continuing education. And that is what Toastmasters brings to the table. It's a part of professional development. I work in information technology, and I'm a network/engineer wannabe guy to keep you from hacking into your computer. That's my ultimate goal. And along the way, there are certifications. You get your A+, your Net+, your MCSEs, and your BDDBs, and all these certifications. And these are just continuing education credits. In project management, you have different types of certifications. Doctors have to go back and do continuing education. I'm pretty sure Mr. Ballum has courses that he has to take to keep his law degree going. So it's continuing education as a part of sharpen the saw. And what I mean by sharpen the saw, you're always on top of your game. Yes, you've graduated and you have your bachelor's in accounting, but you still need to learn the different nuances of accounting. I'm pretty sure Ms. Moore can talk about last in, first out, first in, first out, and all the different, gap principles till she's blue in the face. But she also knows that she has to keep on learning her craft because accounting changes. I'm pretty sure Ms. Robin can talk about business analyst and project management because she has to stay on top of her games with Agile, Ruby on Rails, ITIL, all the different alphabet names of certifications. But at the end of the day, with all those certifications, again, I ask you, do you know where you're going? Again, let me say it one more time. I don't think you heard me. Do you know where you're going? During these last 2 years of my walk in life and dealing with Toastmasters, I've grown up. I really have. I've gone from being bitter about things to being better about things. Because I know and understand that I choose to be happy. I have to choose to be happy. Because like in these 2 years, I've gotten married, and Lord knows I'm trying to be a better husband. I'm trying to be a father one day. I'm trying to be a better son, a better cousin, a better fraternity brother, all those things that are a part of me in my life. But at the end, the question with all of that again is, do I know where I'm going? I got the answer. And this is kind of deep for me because this is my spiritual GPS. In this book right here, you have turn-by-turn directions to get you where you want to go. And even if you get lost, you go to this GPS and you'll find your way. And this book is important to me because it was given to me by my grandmother. I talked to you all last week about Mother's Day being a hard time for me. She gave this to me when I left to go to college. And it's the King James Version, and it has the small letters. I can't read them anymore, but it's important to me. Because see, like you all, I had a praying grandma. She had a praying closet, and she said, baby, you just keep on doing what you're doing. You're going to be all right. And I think about that to this day as I'm going through my transition. And I want to leave you all with this. Again, I want you to know where you're going. And like I always end my speeches with, from the words of my pastor, Reverend Cameron Madison Alexander, that's all I've been told to say. Master Toastmaster.